Welcome everybody to Bugbears and Brews. My name's Brian, and today we're doing quite a bit. We're doing an encounter recap for episode 30, 31, and then we're going to also taste a mead here today. So part of the reason why I haven't been uploading recently is there's 2 weeks that we didn't play due to me being sick. Lots of family stuff going on, my birthday, my wife's birthday, anniversary, family reunions, that kind of stuff. Just didn't have the time to do it. So, between those things and me being sick and, only having 2 sessions in between all that time, got a little bit of delay. Actually just got in from vacation literally 20 minutes ago. Wife and I went up north, and when we're up north, I want to try some of the local fare there up in Traverse City, and came across St. Ambrose. It's a meadery and winery. And I actually had this one last night. It's a exerciser. It's honey and apple mead. And I really, really liked it. And because I liked it so much, we actually, on the way home, stopped by the tasting room and got a bunch of tasters and dropped like $50 on, a couple bottles of mead. I think we got a wine, and then also like 2.5 pounds of fresh honey. So, to start with, I'm going to go and open up this bad boy because I just drove way more time than I should have today. We did the dunes and all the other crap as well. And I really need a damn drink before I start talking about all the D&D fun stuff here. So, here it is in my lovely St. Ambrose Cellars tasting glass that we got for today. Oh, so good, so good. I'll talk about this at the end there, but I got to get one more sip before I get going. Oh, that's freaking fantastic. So, episode 30, Encounter 30, whatever we want to call it there. This one here was I had the game planned to go one way, and I kept on putting all these small little plot hooks that I was hoping the party would pick up on, and they didn't pick up on a single one. So, Encounter 30 was just an exercise of how the hell can I spin this to be some sort of logical outcome. And it wound up you guys going to the central island. We talked a little bit with the townsfolk of Smeltfield, and then got a boat just out to the central island with you guys and a captain. And everything was like grand and glorious, and everything was hunky-dory on that central island. Doing some investigation, you found out that this was quite a bit in the future. Pavik managed to instill the faith of Torm in this area, and it wasn't. Pavik was like the bringer of it, but most people didn't buy into it. And then eventually, Pavik's son helped Pavik help Pavik fight in. I don't recall if it was a rebellion or something along those lines. And that really helped instill Torm as this official religion of the area. And so there's a bit of going on with there. And Pavik's line has been the head priesthood type people of that area for some time. There's statues of Pavik actually requested by Pavik. So as it went on, it got more and more about Pavik not really knowing his ass from his elbow regarding Torm, because he's not really good at religion, even though he's a cleric. But as things, you guys continued investigating, you found out that this was a kind of timeline where Broomy and her people already took over the island and kind of instilled this little bit of happiness going on here. And this was like 300 years plus in the future, and right around there. And Broomy has since passed. She married herself to a gnome. I forget the gnome's name. And the gnome was still alive, but really kind of crazy. And you guys just decided, look, we're not even going to mess with this. We're just going to go back, tell everybody that, hey, everything is great here. Let's move. You guys can move, and then us and our Broomy will go on about our own business, and which is what you guys decided. So you guys were able to actually talk the Shadhar Kai people into going to this lovely retreat island, whatever you want to call it, their new civilization. Everything worked out great on their side, and Broomy was really excited to not have to stay with those Shot of Harkai people and to go back with you guys. So that was great there. Everybody was happy. You guys gave them a couple scrolls of plane shift that you had some extra ones and said, you know, if stuff gets weird, come get us. We'll figure it out. Oh, forgive me here. You guys teleported back to use the plane shift scroll for your group and made it back to Nightstone, and it was right when Moog was having her baby. There's a big celebration going on, and you guys were talking with Vander. Vander seemed really different, though. Kind of seemed really upbeat, not so hard-headed, pain in the ass type of guy that he normally is. And this beautiful woman comes running right up to Vander, gives him a big hug and kiss, and then right after that, a little boy comes running up and like gives Vander a hug on the leg. And you guys are like, what the hell's going on here? And you look, and Vander has like this little stud in the back of his neck. And that's where we ended with that one. I'm going to take a couple more sips here, and then we'll talk about what happened last Wednesday. Oh, God, this is damn good. I love meads. So, last week, I will admit, I was kind of at the point where I was like, you know what? Let's be done with this. Just kind of have the Eleni fight and be done with it. But then I found out, hey, the other table's not going to be ready for some time for a table shakeup. The third table that we were hoping to kind of bolster their numbers, it sounds like they're actually up and running. So we had a little bit of time to expand some story a bit. And expand we did, and I think we all had fun for the most part. So started off with you guys kind of talking to everybody, find out what's been going on since you guys have been gone. It's been about 6 months time frame altogether since you guys went to the Shadowfell there. And everybody kind of wanted to figure out what the hell was going on with Vander and his neck. And with that, you guys kind of all went about your own different things here. Thessalon tried to do a kind of like a sneaky spy type deal, hide-go-seek with Pass Without a Trace in middle of the dining room. We gave it to him because of some fantastic rolls with Pass Without a Trace, but we really razzed him about it, and he seemed like he wasn't so happy with that, but it was to the point where I was silent laughing because of how much fun we were making fun of him with. And then he wound up casting Blind on Vander's girlfriend, and Vander was able to identify, like, hey, somebody's magically casting Blind in here. What the hell's going on? You know, thinking, oh shit, there's assassins everywhere. Let's go figure out what's going on there. Didn't find anybody. Nobody suspected Thessalon. So the other thing that kind of seemed odd to you guys is you guys, one of the first thoughts that you guys went out to is going out searching the surrounding area to try to talk to the elves. No elves. None whatsoever. Every time you've been in this area and you stepped a couple feet into those woods, those elves were right on your ass. So something happened to the elves. They either went away, something took them out, who knows. You guys are leaning more, from what I understand, more the fact that something took them out is what I think you were leaning towards. Thessalon then tried to come back in looking like Belray, who's Eleni's father, and Vander quickly was like, when Vander's girlfriend was like, hey, who's this? What's going on? And Vander was like, you know what? This is Thessalon. He does this thing where he turns into people. He turned into me all the time. That's just Thessalon. You got to get used to him. From there, let's see here. Inigo went out and had a ride with Vander. Inigo was trying to, like, hey, I'm kind of thinking about retirement. What can I do around here? And he's like, you know what, let's go for a ride. We'll talk about it. And we had what had to be probably one of my favorite combats I've had in D&D to date, which was, so Vander and Inigo, they're out on this ride, and they're, you know, a couple animal handling checks there. Vander's kicking his ass and riding because Inigo doesn't really ride horses. And eventually they kind of like start having buddy-buddy chat, and Vander starts trying to let fly with a hand crossbow. Inigo was luckily able to get get a shield out, or cast a spell shield, block that off. But part of the reason that this became really fun here is because I'm trying to thematically play Vander, who's a old PC, and then Don playing Inigo as his current PC. So I'm asking Don for a lot of input. Would Vander do this? Would Vander do that? But it played out really thematically, and I think both the motives of everything kind of played out really well. Like, we retconned one or two things, but we did it before we moved on to the next step. But it wound up with Vander giving up and starting to run away, and Inigo cast, I think it was Wall of Stone, and closed him in to this stone chamber, and wound up cutting his horse in half. Cutting Vander's horse in half, and then decided to kind of walk up and created this little platform type deal with Wall of Stone. That way he can overlook what's going on. And one thing that Inigo or Vander had back when Vander played, or when Don played Vander, was this assassination dagger, where the first time he hits somebody, he can cause them to be paralyzed. And so Inigo jumps up to the top, and Vander had a ready action. So as soon as he saw Inigo, he whipped this dagger at him, and it hit him, paralyzed Vander, or paralyzed Inigo, sorry. Paralyzed Inigo, so Inigo was up top of this stone encasing, and fell all the way to the ground. And from there, I took Don aside and discussed some stuff about what he saw, what happened, and that's where I'm going to cut off with what happened between Inigo and Vander. But they both came back into town. They're really chummy now, which really worked out great, because heading out into the woods, that's kind of where Inigo was going with Vander. He's like trying to get in good with him, trying to get chummy, find out a spot where he can be in this society. So even though like all the players had the meta knowledge of what happened, thematically, in roleplay wise, there's nothing amiss really, because they went out kind of trying to get a little bit of bonding talk about things going on, and they came back with that bond established. Later that night, as everybody kind of went to bed, Ronnie decided he's going to go ahead and try to find out what that item is on the back of Vander's neck. When you guys asked Vander about it, he said he slipped and fell at a construction site, and there's a nail in his neck now. He left it because it kind of makes him look dangerous. You weren't sure if it's because he really left it because of embarrassment or what, but Ronnie decided he's going to get down to it. He did some wonderful stealth checks. This was a really fun, sneak around the castle type thing, walking outside the windows and being stealthy, causing a diversion with the guards hanging out by Vander's room, and then sneaking in Vander's room and making sure he doesn't disturb the missus or Vander. And as he's getting ready to decide what's going on, he's like, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and put all these ball bearings down. That way if I have to make a quick escape, I can. Kind of scopes out the place and then starts tugging on the nail. And so we're doing strength checks with sleight of hand checks, and he just didn't quite have enough strength for it. And so we're trying to all give him ideas on what to use, and we came down to Rondi had a crowbar. And so he lightly wedged the crowbar in and started to try to like pull it and whatnot, but it wouldn't come free. And I gotta say, Anthony, buddy, pal, I think you disappointed all of us when you just yanked the thing out. I mean, it was fun. You gave it up, and I was really just hoping that he was going to describe putting the crowbar in, just running out as fast as he can and yanking on it. I think Mark was saying, "Hey, get some rope out and let's do the old loose tooth thing and wrap it around a door and slam the door. That way you're on the other side of the door." Don, I don't remember if it was Don or Tim that was saying, use your teeth and grip it and just use your head and rip it out. But in the end, Rondi didn't get it out. And from there, that's actually where we left off, was you guys kind of playing out that first day, and then we're going to go into the next day. Well, today's what? Saturday. Why did I say tomorrow? On Wednesday, and try to pursue that a little bit more there. I know I didn't give either of those really roleplay heavy sessions justice, but if I do them justice, this would be like an hour-long video, and as much as you guys love listening to me talk, I don't think you want to sit here for an hour. On to this delicious mead. Delicious. So, this one here has apples, honey, maple syrup, cinnamon, and it's gluten-free. And it's just freaking fantastic. I mean, you get as much as it has apples as the primary, you really get a nice honey finish, which I've only ever done one mead for myself whenever I brewed. But I like, when it just comes to meads in general, I like it to have that strong honey aspect. You know, a lot of meads will kind of bury that honey note there, and that makes me sad. So this has a good apple up front, and then it has a strong honey finish, which I really like. And then the cinnamon in there comes through pretty decent as well. When I was at the tasting room, whatever you want to call it today, they were calling it apple pie, or the apple pie of meads or something like that. And I can get where they're saying that, because you get a little bit of sweetness going on there. You got the honey or not the honey, the cinnamon, the apples, and that kind of stuff there. I don't know if I'd quite say it's the apple pie, but I'd say it's damn delicious. So if you are in Michigan, I think they go all the way down to like the Ann Arbor, Ypsi area here. Try to get some St. Ambrose meads. They're freaking fantastic. The wine I tried was fantastic as well. I picked up a couple bottles of this. I think also Black Madonna, because my wife really liked the Black Madonna, and then which is their blackberry mead, and then we picked up some Razzie, which is their raspberry mead. So, in short, Exerciser, freaking fantastic. Probably is it the best commercial mead I had? Best flavored mead for sure. Like the best non-straight, just honey mead for sure. God, I can go on and on about this. This place was fantastic today. I mean, the room was great. The staff was great. The mead was great. The wines were great. The mead beer mix that I tried today was freaking fantastic too. Long story short, I don't think you can go wrong with St. Ambrose. So, the session was really fun. Lots of roleplay heavy stuff. St. Ambrose meads, fantastic. I'm going to sit back, drink the rest of this. With what I have in my glass here, and this is what, 22 ounce? Oh, no, 17 ounce. Oh yeah, that's easily going to be gone tonight. 22 ounce, 6 ABV. So realistically, it's not. This is not a. I should point out, this is not like a full body mead. It is billed as a hard cider on their side of things. I think it's mainly because it's the apple base with the honey on the backside. But then it's also draft style mead. It is a non-still mead. It has carbonation in it. I know I'm going on and on, but it's just fucking fantastic. So do yourselves a favor. Get St. Ambrose. You can't go wrong with it. See you guys on Wednesday. Bye.